Imagine a wooden ship so vast it could house every species on Earth, and then some. But what if I told you there's a shocking detail about Noah's Ark that's been buried in history, one that changes the way we see this incredible story? By the end of this video, you'll discover a secret about the Ark that even most Bible scholars overlook. What was the true size of Noah's Ark? How did Noah manage to gather such a massive number of animals? And is there an extraordinary fact hidden in plain sight within the Bible that most people have completely missed? Stick around, because this isn't just another retelling of a familiar story. This is a journey into its mysteries, its miracles, and its incredible truths. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We uncover the hidden truths behind biblical stories like never before, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. How big was Noah's Ark, really? The Bible describes it as 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. Converting these ancient measurements, we find it was roughly 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high, comparable to a modern cargo ship. This wasn't just a boat, it was an engineering marvel. Scholars estimate the Ark had a carrying capacity of over 15,000 tons, enough to fit 500 semi-truck loads. But here's where it gets fascinating. The Ark's design was radically different from any other ancient vessel. It wasn't built for speed or navigation. It was constructed purely for stability. Its rectangular shape made it nearly impossible to capsize, even in the worst storm. Recent studies comparing ancient flood myths found that the Ark's proportions offered maximum buoyancy and safety, unlike the rounded or cylindrical designs described in other cultures' accounts. One often overlooked detail is that Noah's Ark was made of gopher wood. While we don't know exactly what this refers to, some experts believe it could have been a durable, resin-coated timber, ideal for withstanding long-term exposure to water. Could this material have been divinely revealed to Noah as part of God's blueprint? Have you ever wondered how Noah gathered every animal species on Earth? The Bible says God commanded Noah to bring 2 of every kind of animal into the Ark. But here's the part most people miss. It doesn't say Noah went out looking for them. Instead, the animals came to him, guided by divine instruction or instinct. Imagine the sight of lions, birds, elephants, and insects all converging in harmony at the Ark's entrance. Now let's address the logistics. How did Noah sustain so many animals for over a year? Some critics argue it's impossible, but recent research offers a plausible answer. Certain animals may have entered a state of torpor, similar to hibernation, conserving food and energy. This phenomenon, observed in animals today, could have been divinely triggered to ensure survival. And here's something most people don't consider. The Ark didn't need to carry every species we know today. It only needed to house kinds, the ancestors of modern species. For example, a single pair of felines could represent all cats, from lions to domestic tabbies. This drastically reduces the number of animals required, making the story far more feasible than skeptics assume. But let's not overlook the human element. Noah and his family cared for the animals, prepared their food, and ensured their well-being. Their devotion and endurance make them some of the most remarkable figures in the Bible. How many of us could take on such a monumental task without losing faith? The flood wasn't just a local event. It transformed the entire Earth. Around the world, we find geological evidence of massive floods, from sediment layers in the Grand Canyon to marine fossils on mountaintops like the Himalayas. Could these be remnants of the biblical deluge? Even scientists who doubt the Bible acknowledge that ancient flood events left a significant mark on the planet. But here's something truly astounding. Ancient cultures across the globe, from Mesopotamia to China to the Americas, have their own flood stories, many of which share striking similarities with the biblical account. One of the most fascinating examples comes from an ancient Mesopotamian tablet that predates Genesis. It describes a flood and an ark, but with one major twist. The ark is described as round, like a massive basket. While this account differs in key details, it highlights how deeply rooted the flood narrative is in human history. This raises a compelling question. How could cultures separated by oceans and continents share such similar stories? Some see this as evidence of a shared collective memory of a real event, while others view it as proof of the Bible's divine truth. Either way, the flood narrative's universal reach is a testament to its enduring impact. Now let's dive into the deeper meaning of Noah's Ark. At first glance, the ark is simply a vessel of salvation, saving Noah's family and the animals from the flood. But its significance goes far beyond that. The ark is also a powerful symbol of God's covenant with humanity. Here's a detail most people overlook. The dimensions of the ark are strikingly similar to those of ancient temples, particularly the tabernacle built by Moses centuries later. The ark's proportions, length, width, and height, follow a sacred pattern used in places of worship. This suggests the ark wasn't just a physical refuge, it was a spiritual sanctuary, foreshadowing God's plan to dwell among his people. And what about the rainbow, given as a sign of God's covenant after the flood? This isn't just a pretty symbol, it's the only natural phenomenon explicitly described as a direct message from God in the Bible. Every rainbow we see today is a reminder of that ancient promise, a promise of mercy and faithfulness that transcends time. But there's one last mystery to uncover. Did you know that Noah's Ark has inspired countless searches, with many claiming to have found its remains? From Mount Ararat in Turkey to remote mountain ranges in Iran, expeditions have unearthed curious artifacts, but definitive proof remains elusive. Could this be part of God's plan, keeping the Ark as a testament of faith rather than a mere archaeological find? So what have we learned about Noah's Ark? It wasn't just a giant wooden ship. It was a masterpiece of engineering, a sanctuary of salvation, and a symbol of God's eternal promise. From its colossal size, to the miraculous gathering of animals, to the rainbow that sealed the covenant, every detail of this story reveals the depth of God's wisdom and care. But perhaps the most profound truth is this: Noah's Ark is a reminder that faith, obedience, and trust in God can carry us through even the greatest storms. Just as the Ark protected Noah and his family, God's promises protect us today. If this video gave you a new perspective on Noah's Ark, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs a little faith in their life. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating stories of the Bible. What other biblical mysteries would you like us to uncover? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next video.